Hello, Diocese of Saginaw families. I'd like to give you a short overview of Proposal 3 in this video and a little bit about the initiative of Fight Like Heaven, which was born in response to a tweet put out by Governor Gretchen Whitmer back in June after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. It is our intent in this video to not only give you information needed to make a good decision when you vote in November, but also to give families, teachers, and older teenagers resources that they can use, and then also resources for younger children under the direction of adults to educate them on the pro-life movement in general, but specifically, what is this Proposal 3 about, and why is it something that we need all hands on deck for? And that's in the words of our Bishop Gruce, who said at his First Friday talk that we need all hands on deck as Catholics to defeat this proposal. Again, this was born out of the response to the Fight Like Hell initiative that Governor Gretchen Whitmer talked about in her tweet back in June. And we decided we were going to fight like heaven. And to do so, the diocese has created this set of resources right here. At the end of this presentation, at the end of the video, you'll have a QR code and also a shortened URL so you can access all of the links that are in this presentation. So if you go there, download this presentation, it's a Google slideshow. This will be a live link for you, and you can get to all of the resources that were created by our diocesan staff. One of the problems with Proposal 3, which is an amendment to our a proposed amendment to our Michigan Constitution, is that the verbiage itself is very confusing. And what that means is not that it's over the heads of people to understand, but the way it's worded is meant to be confusing to people, meant to be ambiguous. It's meant to be very generalized. So in the summary, the ballot language is very shortened, and it reads something like you'll see here at the top. Reproductive freedom. Who doesn't want that, right? No one wants to be told what to do. So that's the verbiage in the ballot language. And one of the resources that you'll find in this presentation is this document right here with a side-by-side comparison of what the ballot will actually read in November, a very shortened summary, and what the amendment is actually proposing, which is compared on the right-hand side in that document. So the actual language as opposed to what the ballot says is quite different. And just one example here is that the amendment language would give the rights of any healthcare professional. And they use that term on purpose because it means literally anyone who's been trained in, say, first aid, like a coach, who is a physical therapist, who does have some medical training, but certainly not reproductive health training, and basically anyone that you could deem a healthcare professional. So the language itself that's being used in the summary is very generalized and a little bit misleading. We'll go into a little bit more about what Proposition 3 proposes. And here are three main reasons to vote no, because in this proposal, the Constitution of the state of Michigan would be forever changed to allow abortion at any stage of pregnancy, including right up to birth. So that is what we call full-term abortion for any reason whatsoever. And those reasons are, again, worded very generally. So for the mental health of the patient is one of the terms, phrases used in the amendment. And what that means is that a young girl finds herself pregnant, she's 14 years old, and she's stressed out about it. And she decides to have an abortion to get rid of the problem, right? Because there's a lot of fear involved, and there's a lot of uncertainty, and there are a lot of other things that go along with that decision that a parent needs to be involved in. Well, under this proposal, any reason at all can be used, and up to any time in the pregnancy can be used. And then number two is that the parents don't even have to be informed, nor do they have to give consent. So that same 14-year-old girl who finds herself pregnant and probably very scared and in need of resources and support could instead be driven by a friend or the father of the baby to an abortion provider, have the abortion, and her parents could never know or be told about it or even consulted. It also opens up the door to gender reassignment surgery and medications, including puberty blockers, which can have devastating effects on the future reproductive health of an individual. So again, because there's no age limit, it means that a 13-year-old who hasn't even fully gone through puberty yet can decide that they want to become a different gender, and without their parents' knowledge, they could seek out treatment to have their gender reassigned, either surgically or medically. So any medical profession, as we've said before, is a very loose term. It can mean lots of different things. So if you look through the entire proposal, which is about 2 pages long and is contained as a link in this document, you read that over and you realize that this is really an anything goes abortion amendment. Anything can be done at any time by almost anyone with no repercussions. If there is a problem with, let's say, an abortion that is botched and the life of the mother is threatened, or even she loses her life in this procedure, no one can file a lawsuit against that medical professional who performed the abortion. And so what that does then is it protects anyone who's doing abortions from being sued, which is not a very good thing we want to open ourselves up to. Lots of links to documents about Proposal 3 so you can go and be informed yourself. Here's another link to the Diocesan Proposal 3 page. Here's the full amendment language. Nothing's been taken out, nothing's been added. This is what actually would happen if Proposal 3 were approved. Lots of resources here that can be printed off if you'd like to have a little bit more information to share with others. The side-by-side document that I shared earlier, there's a link to that one. If they say, you say document, this is great for those people out there who are in favor of Proposal 3 because they've been told that it's good for women, it's safe for women, it allows freedom for women. And so lots of instances of if this person says this, here's how you can respond if you're wanting them to have all of the information. Lots of Fight Like Heaven resources here. And the Michigan Catholic Conference here at the bottom, it's not going to show up for you, but it is a link on the presentation. And they also have several resources. These are all links to resources that can help you become better informed and also join in the Fight Like Heaven campaign. If you are a teacher and you're wondering what you can do in your classroom, there are resources here for every age level and grade level. So young children right here, here's how to begin this discussion of the respect for life. That's really what young children need to know, is that all life is respected from conception to natural death. For middle school students, they have a little bit more understanding of what pro-life means. And so here are some resources, including lessons and all kinds of things, discussion tools for middle school students. And then for those high school students, especially those who are of voting age, where they can actually go out and make a difference in this Fight Like Heaven campaign. Lots of resources here, including 7 great discussion starters for teachers if you'd like to do that, or homeschoolers if you are out there and you want to know what some resources are that you may use. There are obviously many more out there, but these are some that are particularly engaging with students. Families. So if you are a family and you're wondering, what can I do to help in this fight? Lots of resources here for you. USCCB has put out some family resources. There's an article attached here that was just recently put out last week entitled Michigan is Sleepwalking Toward Abortion Extremism, written by a New York-based author. And it is giving a recap of what Proposal 3 is and what the repercussions of it could be for us in our state, how it opens the door to an agenda that could be countrywide, because everyone is watching us with this anything goes abortion amendment. And if it passes, the whole country could go this way, where abortion is on demand in any state, at any stage. Gender reassignment is available at any stage, at any age. All of this without parental consent, and all of this without the care of an authorized medical professional. There's also a link to a rosary for kids. So if you want to pray along with some beautiful children's voices, EWTN has put out a video rosary for kids. There are some coloring pages here attached to this particular link, so it's a little bit of a how-to, and also some printable pages so your younger children can color along as you're praying the rosary. This is a new video series, Philo and Sophie, and it's streaming through the Healing the Culture website. And it was put out with small children in mind, talking about human rights and the dignity of the human person. For older students, this is cut off at the bottom for you, but Nick Vujicic was a young man, or is a young man, who was born without arms and legs, has gotten married, has had several children, and he talks very candidly about the awesome responsibility we have to protect life at all stages, but he also incorporates a lot of the joy in his particular circumstance and why his life, which could have been seen by many as not valuable or not viable, because he has absolutely no arms or no legs, he goes on to talk about the joy that he has in living the life that he has, doing what he does with a lovely wife and children, and the fullness of the life that he had, even battling from depression because of his circumstances when he was younger. So it's a great discussion source for older children. The biggest thing we can do is to pray the rosary. That is the weapon, according to St. Padre Pio. Praying the rosary has stopped wars. It has saved lives, including the lives of hundreds of thousands of children in Mexico when Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared to St. Juan Diego. So Our Lady's intercession is real. It does work. And if you want to fight like heaven with us, please click on this QR code right here, enter in this shortened URL code, and it gives you a link to all of the resources. Please join us in praying and fighting like heaven to end Proposal 3 and abortion on demand at all stages. May God bless you, and Our Lady of the Rosary, pray for us.